In pretty much every school today, there's this digital tug of war going on between two absolute giants, Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace. Today, we're going to take a look at a tool called ClassSync that promises to finally connect these two worlds and create one truly seamless digital classroom. So let's just paint a picture for a second. It's the beginning of the school year. Your IT admin is staring at two completely separate systems. For every single student, they have to manually create two different accounts, manage two separate class lists, and juggle two sets of passwords. It is an absolute mountain of duplicate work, and just one tiny typo can lock a student out right when they need to get in. Okay, so how do we get from that administrative nightmare to a system that actually works? Well, here's our game plan. First, we'll dig a little deeper into the two-platform problem. Then we'll introduce ClassSync and see how it acts as a bridge. We're going to look under the hood to see how it works, explore the impact it has on everyone, talk about its security, and finally, see what this all means for a school. And let's be clear, this is about so much more than just saving time. This is about a student's name being spelled just slightly differently in two systems, which causes a login to fail right before a big exam. It's about the pure chaos of trying to get thousands of accounts ready for the first day of school, which pulls everyone's focus away from what really matters. Yeah, this isn't just some minor inconvenience. Trying to manage these two massive, powerful platforms separately creates constant friction. When a student's info doesn't perfectly match across both systems, their access to everything, assignments, class materials, you name it, can just get cut off. But what if you could control both of these digital worlds from one central dashboard? That is the entire idea behind ClassSync. It was literally built to be the missing bridge that connects these two platforms that are so essential for schools. The whole promise of ClassSync really just boils down to this one simple but really powerful idea: manage both platforms simultaneously with one roster. That simple concept is the key that unlocks a much more efficient and sane way of doing things. So what is it exactly? Well, you can think of ClassSync as a super smart application that basically acts like a universal translator. It takes your school's single central roster and uses that one piece of information to automatically set up and manage everything across both Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom. Okay, so how in the world does ClassSync actually pull this off? It kind of sounds like magic, right? Well, the secret isn't magic at all. It's about starting with one single source of truth for all your data. And the beauty of this whole process is just how simple it is. It's really just 3 steps. The administrator only has to worry about one central class list. That's it. From there, ClassSync converts that list into a standard data format. And then finally, that one file is used to automatically sync everything in both Teams and Classroom. One change pushed everywhere. Simple. Now, the secret sauce here, the key to this whole thing, is a standard format called Microsoft School Data Sync, or SDS. The best way to think about it is like a universal travel adapter. ClassSync creates a data file in this special format that acts as a common language that both Microsoft and Google can understand perfectly. And because it uses this standard, boom, that's what makes all the automation possible. I mean, all those tedious manual jobs, they just disappear. New student accounts get created automatically. Classes are set up in both platforms at the exact same time. Even moving thousands of students up to the next grade at the end of the year is handled. It turns hours of painful IT work into a simple, automated click. But, this is great for the IT team, for sure. But the real story, the real impact here, goes way beyond the server room. By unifying the backend, ClassSync creates a dramatically better and simpler experience for the people who matter most, the students and the teachers. For students, this is an absolute game changer. They get single sign-on, or SSO, which means they have just one username and one password for everything, both Microsoft and Google. Just think about that. Less confusion and way less class time wasted on forgotten passwords. And what about teachers? Well, ClassSync solves a huge source of anxiety for them, especially when they move between schools. For years, a teacher's digital life's work, their intellectual property, was basically held hostage in their old school system. ClassSync completely changes that. There's this thing called the ClassSync teacher module, and it's brilliant. It lets a teacher securely migrate all their files from their old OneDrive, their old Teams materials, even their Google Drive, directly into their brand new account at their new school. All those years of hard work move with them, ready to go from day one. Of course, anytime you're talking about school data, security and privacy are absolutely non-negotiable. So let's take a minute to look at how ClassSync is built from the ground up to protect everyone's information. All right, this is probably the most important thing to understand about its security. ClassSync is built on a privacy by design philosophy. What that actually means is that all of your school's sensitive roster data stays right there on the administrator's local computer. It is never uploaded to an external server, which completely removes the risk of a third-party data breach. This local-first design is fundamental. It means there's no big central database of student information sitting on the internet for bad guys to target. And importantly, it directly helps a school comply with all those strict data privacy regulations, like FERPA in the US, GDPR in Europe, and CCPA in California. So let's tie this all together and look at the real-world impact. Because when you solve a nagging technical problem like this one, you don't just fix the computer issue, you actually unlock a ton of new potential for everyone in the school community. And you can really see the ripple effect across the entire school. Your IT admins get huge amounts of time back. Your teachers are freed from being tech support so they can actually focus on teaching. And your students, they get what they need most, a simple, frictionless way to access all their learning tools. And this unified environment also creates brand new possibilities. A teacher is no longer locked into just one ecosystem. They can flexibly choose the absolute best tool for any given lesson, whether that's one of Microsoft's powerful learning accelerators or maybe it's one of Google Classroom's innovative AI practice sets. They get the best of both worlds. So at the end of the day, ClassSync helps transform what used to be a fragmented, complex, and error-prone mess into exactly what a modern school needs: a single, consistent, and automated digital infrastructure that just works. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. This isn't just about solving an IT problem. It's about unlocking human potential. What new educational possibilities could your school achieve if your foundational technology finally started working together as one?